Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the VR Master League. We are here today with an Onward matchup that I think is going to delight every single one of you out there. We are in Season 9, Week 6, and I am joined today by two fantastic co-hosts. I have got Wookie, as my co-caster here. Say hi to the fans, Wookie. Okay. Wookie does not want to say hi to you just yet.
Hi guys, how you doing?
There he is. There he is. He turned up in the end. And now over to our analyst for the day, our correspondent at the desk, bringing you all that drowsy action that we're going to be seeing. Mr. Sleepy. How you doing, Sleepy?
Hey, Noman. Thanks for having me. I'm doing really well. Excited for this matchup. I think it should be a good one here for a nice Saturday evening bout. So excited to get into it and excited to see what both teams have in store for us today.
Yeah, and getting into it we shall. We don't have a lot of time as the players file into their lobby, so we're going to pound through our bans and get into the action as quickly as we can. So on the home side, the Killettos have chosen to ban Downfall. And on the away side, the 5 Horsemen have opted to ban Subway. So I'm going to take this over to the correspondent's desk here. Sleepy, what are your thoughts on these two bans? Do they make sense? Are they playing away from their weaknesses or to their opponent's strengths?
I believe both teams are actually playing away from their weaknesses here. I was looking at the stats a little bit before we got started. These two teams have only matched up once against one another, which was last season in Season 8. The Horsemen came away with the win 12-4. And it looks like... Oh, I don't actually have the map breakdown from that. But Killettos are banning one of their weaker maps. They're only about, 30% success? Oh, 14% success rate on Downfall currently. And the 5 Horsemen are banning actually into the Killettos' strength here because they're banning Subway, which they have a 0% win rate, and the Killettos have an 80% win rate on. So I think they're protecting their assets, if you will, by not going with Subway. And Downfall is just unfortunately a weaker map for the Killettos, so it makes sense for them as to why they banned it on their end.
Fantastic. Really quickly, as we are getting pretty close to the start time, we will also talk about the first map that's been chosen. Currently, it's looking like we're going to be doing Snow Peak, but the night variant. Wookie, what are your thoughts and feelings on this map and on the night map choice? I haven't seen that very often.
The Killettos are very strong with the shield, so I'm not surprised that they opted to go with the night map route because you got that fancy night vision laser combo with the shield user, which is oh so powerful, right? So kind of not surprised that they decided to go with the night variant, especially because Snow Peak Day is also one of their strongest maps. So just overall, Snow Peak is one of Killettos' strongest maps. So I expect a pretty strong start for this series.
Sleepy, the night variant, I mean, what kind of advantage do you think that's going to bring here for the Killettos? They're starting out on Marsoc. I mean, what is the difference here between a day and a night version of this map?
Honestly, the obvious, right, is the lighting variation, right? It's going to be a lot harder to see enemies at distance, especially be able to pick them out in variation to their background, for example, like spotting a head, peeking over a rock with another rock behind them like that. In the daytime might be a little bit easier to spot. At night, not so much, even with night vision, because the problem with night vision, though it does allow you to see farther and see more clearly at night, it washes everything, it monotones everything into a green shade, so there's no longer any sort of pixelation, color difference, or anything like that the player can spot in order to better identify an enemy. So they might be staring at one for 10 minutes. There could be two players 100 meters apart staring at each other and not quite realize it unless the other one moves or moves out to the open. So of course, the obvious thing is the lighting. The camouflage on this map is also a bit different than some of the other maps, so Marsoc does have a little bit better of a chance not being spotted on Snow Peak as compared to other maps in the pool for the league. However, I do think that as far as where this first objective is located, being way back there in the tunnels at the backside of the eastern part of the map, it's going to be really difficult for them to get there. So we'll have to see how they manage to use this darkness use this long range and all the cover that this map can provide in order to push their way up and see if they can't get that very first cap and really start this match off with a bang.
Fantastic stuff. Well, we are pretty dang close to starting this matchup off. I'm going to go through a quick rundown of the players on the roster, although they seem to be adjusting as I say that. Currently for the 5 Horsemen, they've got fielded Dr. Sean, Traden, Reaper Madness, Steve, 3242, and Enigma. And on the Killettos side, we've got Tiagra, Man Outdoors, Turbo, D16, I believe Phenaram was in there as well, and the 5th has not yet made themselves known as they are still getting their way into the lobby. So, really quickly, while we have this extra time, Wookie, what are your thoughts on this matchup as a whole in terms of where the teams are currently ranked and who you expect to come out of this the victor?
You know, I was looking at this before the game started, and I was blown away to find that Killettos are currently bronze rating, while the 5 Horsemen are gold rating. So it's like quite an interesting matchup between these guys. I don't know if this was a challenge match or what happened. I don't think it was, but
I believe this one was scheduled, yes.
yeah, it was. So I don't know. It's like Killettos have been doing extremely good this season, and I think they're going to give the 5 Horsemen a run for their money.
Sleepy, do you agree?
I do agree, actually. I was just about to say that and even kind of interject into Wookie's response. The Killettos have been playing fairly strong. I mean, I even played a portion of a match with them as a reservist this season, and while I didn't necessarily add anything great to their team dynamic in filling in as a reservist, they did feel stronger, and they sounded like they all knew more of what they had to do versus in previous seasons where it was a little bit more chaotic. It was a little bit more kind of what's the word I'm looking? Not really disorganized, but not quite in sync either. And then this season they've really changed that. They've been putting up some good numbers against some great teams, some seasoned teams at that. So I really expect this match to be a lot closer than the previous match that they had last season. However, I don't know. I haven't been able to watch much of the 5 Horsemen yet at the start of this season to know if they've really been turning on, that heat this season.
Yeah, I've definitely seen, some great casts from both teams already this season, and both have their merits here. The last game they played, again, Sleepy, you'd mentioned it, I believe it was last season, correct?
Yes, that is correct. Season 8 was their last game.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of growth in a lot of these teams since the last season. For those that are not familiar with our league, we've got several months over the holidays, usually about 2 months of a break between one season and the next. So it's not that, we're in week 6, but it's actually 3 months since our last season. So a lot of opportunity for growth for teams like the Killettos and the 5 Horsemen. I know Killettos have picked up a couple of new folks and cycled out a couple of their older ones. They're missing, well, at least so far, they're missing their team captain, as well as a couple other players that we would normally see in this lineup. So we'll see what difference that makes. I don't know the starting lineup of their Season 8 matchup, but I can't imagine it is 1-to-1 with the one we're going to see here today. But the 5 Horsemen, a pretty dang strong team. They're kind of the wild card of the league these days. They've pulled out some pretty fantastic wins against really top tier teams, and they've also struggled against a top and mid tier team. So you kind of never know what you're going to get with them. The one thing that they're missing on the field is Enigma. I'm sorry, not Enigma. Durafan. Durafan was a pickup for them early in this season, or in the off season, if I'm not mistaken, and a very, very strong player. I assume based on time zones is why he's not playing, but we'll see how that affects the play as well, because keeping somebody like that on the bench for these matchups can be risky, and Killettos will definitely try to capitalize on that.
Yeah, I think consistency is going to be key here for the 5 Horsemen. I was just looking over their stats from this season. They are currently 2-3 with losses to, let's see here, Animal House, Fire Team Alpha, and Legionnaires. In the game with Legionnaires, it was actually tie score. The Legionnaires came away with the map wins to take the series. Fire Team Alpha, they only won by a singular point. However, the Animal House game was more of a blowout at a 12-4 scoreline, at least via the scoreboard descriptions anyways. Don't hold me to that being a blowout, because it could have been a very close game. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Let's look at the rankings really quickly, because we are still waiting on the Killettos 5th to jump back in and get us started. Let's take a look here. Killettos are currently ranked 21st, and the 5 Horsemen are ranked 20th. So this is a literal good matchup. These are next door neighbors in the rankings.
Yeah, and as you say that, we've got our 5th in, and it looks like the game is about to go underway. So let's jump right into our first map here. All right, round 1 is underway. You can see the players there, and we've got an objective. We're just gonna float on over here. We've got the objective inside the sewer tunnels. Killettos on the offensive push here, coming in from the south. They've got the quick spawn, but they're not opting to take it. They're actually opting to go back outside and rotate all the way around.
We're going far south all the way around, right?
Yep.
Interesting play by Killettos to just completely avoid the tunnels altogether. It looks like they are going to use that shield play. Maybe they want to, breach the doors from the north, but they're really going.
Yeah, they're going all the way. Yeah, that was the call out there from one of the players. Just, we're going to go all the way south and then all the way around. So meanwhile, we're going to take a look at the defense set up here. We've got Traden at the edge of the north tunnel there, watching outside, and then everybody pretty close on this objective. This is probably the right way to play this. I mean, this objective is so capable. It's so dangerous. There's so many different avenues for the offense to come in through. And I wonder if they're going to get antsy. This is one of those scenarios where when the offense rotates, they burn a lot of the clock. And if the defense can't be patient and watch their angles and hold their lines, they could get punished for it. So we'll see if that is going to be the case. But right now, the defense looks pretty tucked in. Let's jump back to the Killettos and see how their rotation is going.
They are playing it so safe on round 1. They really think that there's going to be somebody, I guess, running around, which is surprising to me because it's a tunnel objective, right? It's not like the warehouse room that they need to breach.
Right. That's kind of that was my original thought, was that it was a warehouse. And then I realized it wasn't.
Teams do tend to send out a few people and push out from that warehouse, but this is the tunnel objective, so they're burning precious time right now, flanking all the way around.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Again, if you're gonna flank like this, just go through the inside of the mountain pass. It's the same. Yeah. It's the same rotation. Doesn't require going all the way. Because I don't know any defense that would push out to the outside for this objective either.
I mean, maybe Globochem, but this is the 5 Horsemen we're talking. So it's going to be at least the 3-minute mark before they even reach the tunnel entrance.
They're going to have to deal with Traden, and Traden is in turn going to have to deal with them, and he's the only one on that north tunnel. So
all 5 of them, right? I don't know if I like Traden's positioning right now. He's just behind the tree. He's hoping to just pick off 1, maybe 2 attackers, but I don't think he's going to be ready for a full team.
We'll see if the team decides to go that way. If just checking with the shield. He should be the first one around the corner. If he's not, they're going to run into some trouble. And there he is, rounds the corner. Trading spots 1. The shots ring out. Stay safe. Turbo finds the frag. And just like that, Trading is out. Very nice little push there up the hill. The C4 almost finding a couple.
C4's gone.
You don't say, Tia. You don't say it's gone. All right. Now they've got to deal with the long tunnel. Reefer Madness and Steve going to be the 2 main opponents here. And the suppressing fire's coming out. We've got smoke out as well. I believe that was M203. Turbo does find Steve on the long peak, and there's just a lot of gunfire here. Reaper not opting to come in. A very nice smoke placement attempt, not going to land the way they wanted to. And the push coming out. Fino with a nice grenade onto Reaper, not able to react. Matt Outdoors has got Pad. Fino's moving up, a little bit more smoke on the way, and Dr. Sean is the last one left as Enigma trades out with Turbo, and now the Pad is out. Fino protecting here, the gunshots coming in. Turbo with the suppressing fire. He does find Dr. Sean, but no, Cap will come out. Unfortunately for the Killettos on a fantastic push down that tunnel.
We were this close to greatness, guys. So close.
So very, very close. My apologies there on the game audio levels. I don't know why they were so high, but that was a fantastic push. Sleepy, give me your thoughts on that play. I mean, I already know what they are, but give me your thoughts.
Yeah, well, I mean, you said it right there, Noman. It was a fantastic play. They didn't waste a lot of time BSing on the lower portion of the map as they rotated around. They pushed out quick. They got around the map. They didn't even necessarily play the entire border of the map. They played as deep as they needed to in order to stay away from any sort of detection lines, and then they played it hard and fast until they found Trade. Then they continued with their excellence by pushing out Fino and that shield first, as you mentioned in the round, Noman. If they wouldn't have pushed him first, it would have been a serious tactical mistake on their part. But they did. Trading got distracted, got tunnel vision on him. He then got ambushed by two other Killettos as they push in. The push through to the smoke through the tunnel, I mean, everything else there pretty much remained textbook. It was all around an excellent execution there. Really surprised the cap wasn't able to happen, but you know what? Take the round, get that Marsoc win, and now go back and sit on your Volk defensive.
Yeah, Wookie. I mean, what could have Five Horsemen done there? Was there anything there that felt like that? To me, just felt like a strong Killettos play and not a failure of the Five Horsemen defense. Was there any adjustment you think they could have made that maybe would have turned the tide of that?
I would ditto what you just said. I mean, Five Horsemen are so worried about a tunnel flank coming after that north push that they didn't rotate fast enough, but I don't blame them because they were expecting that another group of people to push in because the callouts were just not there, right? Like, no one... Traden died before he could tell the team that there's a whole squad coming in from the north.
Yeah, there was a lot of lack of timing availability for the Five Horsemen to really recover, and the callouts from Killettos were just on point. Their communication was crucial throughout that round. But now we're into the next round, and Five Horsemen will have to see if they can answer back.
Yeah, they're sending them through the tunnel here. No long flanks for them, and we're going to see action pretty early as the defense pushes in. Man Outdoors and Traden. I'm sorry, Turbo not ready as Traden picks up the two, pushing to the south, and that is the danger of that fast push, right? That's exactly what Killettos opted not to do, is challenge in those tunnels. And now they've got all five in, already in the inside tunnels. Nick and Fino are the last two remaining inside this tunnel. Nick is going to find Traden, but the refrag from Reaper will down him as the smoke starts to pour in.
And shield and rifle on the objective now as Dr. Sean finds Phenaram on the objective, and Tiagra there to find the two-man squad on the objective.
Fantastic job finishing both of those players out. It is now a 1v2 with a res available. The frag will come out, but no offensive players close enough to feel the burn. The confirm will come out onto Steve, however. Smokes continue to roll in. Tia's got to go find that res. If he can get that res and even things up a little bit, it's going to be a different matchup, but Reaper spots Tia as he rotates through. Tia tucks in, looking for the shots. Reaper pushing up on the corner, does find Tia, and there it is. A nice little answer back by the offense of the Five Horsemen, and much, much faster that time around. Sleepy, what are your thoughts on that play?
Well, like the Killettos executing well on their Marsoc round, the Five Horsemen executed the same thing, just with a lot less wait time in between. They took charge immediately, finding 2 kills right off the bat. Defensive-wise, they were able to slow them up and keep them from just running right up to the objective and getting a cap. However, not a whole lot that they could do once they lost those initial 2 defenders. They were basically on turtle mode after that. Nice pick from, I think it was Nick G downstairs, being able to pick up 1, but immediately on the refrag, But the only place I think I disagree with your call out, Noman, was with Tiagra rushing back to get the res. I think in that situation, they would have been played smarter to let Nick G continue to be a radio beacon and just give him updates as best he can on the push and when they're out in the open. And then Tiagra could have stayed in that little cubby hole and possibly been able to find one, if not both of them, on a risky blitz rush towards the objective. But, you know, hindsight is what it is. The 5 Horsemen execute an excellent Marsoc round to answer back to the Killettos, and now the Killettos will have to continue to do so in order to maintain their advantage going forward.
Thank you, Sleepy.
That was just like such a strong play by 5 Horsemen. I mean, those 2 picks early on were devastating to the Killettos.
Yeah, I'm surprised they weren't ready for that.
Me too.
Assuming that had to be one of the reasons they didn't go down that, you know, that corridor in the first place. So it's kind of shocking to not check those tunnels. As soon as you come up to them, they just kind of kept running straight ahead.
Especially with how cautious they were in the first round, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, with all of that time spent trying to push the right way, and you don't check your corner, you get hit. And here we are in round 3 now, as the Killettos now will push northward towards the North Hangar objective. 5 Horsemen setting up on defense. Let's take a quick look at the overhead map. Just see what their setup is like. Yeah, not too surprising there. Sort of encircled the outside. They are potentially expecting that eastern spawn still, but I assume they will rotate once the offense has been spotted out here. Turbo just kind of keeping his eyes on that ridgeline. It's so hard to spot players, even with night vision on, especially at this range. Traden really the only one kind of regularly peeking over the ridge line there.
Yeah, this is one of those objectives that is just so hard to push up on. I mean, you got a giant lake you have to cross, and then a pretty open northern expanse to cover. Meanwhile, the defenders can just tuck in really tight and not have to worry too much about getting picked off. Although it does look like Steve. Yeah, Steve is kind of getting pushed out a bit here. I'm not sure which angle he's trying to hold, but
their eastern
they're all
approach
tight.
defense is pretty weak, to be honest.
Yeah, and they've got the 2 Killettos pushing up from the south towards the northeast here. Nick G and Tia both making their way through. I think this is going to come down to whether or not the timing works out. If they're able to create the right amount of confusion and the right amount of stress for the defense to keep all the different players focused in different directions, this might work out. But Nick, as I say that, opts to rotate back towards Tia's spot here in the north. And you're starting to see a little bit of the, if you take a look at the overhead map, you see them sort of encircling the lake here and starting to come through. Turbo sending some fire down, not finding any love just yet. I think the distance here is working against them. I mean, even during the day, this is a hard shot to make. And at night, I don't know that you're going to have a ton of success. I'm sure one of them will prove me wrong here in just a few moments. That NVG intensity is high. It's low contrast. High intensity as Turbo and Traden pump rounds out towards each other. Sort of seeing this lake of lasers here as Killettos still opting to suppress. Again, I'm a little shocked here that Nick and Tiagra have not made a push for that east side. Steve would be ripe for the picking here and cause just enough confusion to allow the folks across the lake to start moving in. Call out of time comes in from Tia. 2.5 minutes left on the clock for the offense to try to make something happen. They've still got a few people across the lake. Will Tia be able to spot out this defensive position by Reefer Madness? He's tucked in a nice little corner there. I think Reefer may have spotted him. Maybe not. His hand is on radio, potentially, given that call out. This is a nice little rotation. He could catch the side of Traden. Or Dr. Sean, but a bad nade by Nick. Will unfortunately down the first player here, Tia. His teammate.
Rip.
It's going to cause a little bit of confusion, I think, for the Killettos. I don't think Tia knows. Oh, there we go. Nick has found out his mistake, but now it's a little too late as he's got some lasers pointed in his direction. That grenade giving away a bunch of crucial info. However, it did do a very good job of causing a bit of confusion here as we see two members of Killettos finally making it across. Enigma finding the first. Nick does find that res. Now Mad Outdoors here has to deal with Tiara.
Directly where my shots are.
Oh, a lot of suppressive fire coming out here towards Traden's position. Dr. Sean is the other one assisting with that pre-fire. We'll see if Mad Outdoors can find this pick on Enigma. This would be huge for him. The shots ring out. He does miss. Takes shots from Enigma and goes down in the end. Steve finds Tiago as well, and now it's just 30 seconds left. Two members of the Killettos, and not a lot of options as the offensive drone goes down as well. Nick is eventually taken out, and it is all left to the final member here, Fino. He's got that long-range rifle. I know that feeling, Fino. You got 10 seconds, and you got a gun that is absolutely useless at any range outside of 100 meters. And the time will run out here as Fino pushes in. No. I don't... Yeah. I'm going to take that to Sleepy. Sleepy. What could have been done a little bit better there to try to make that push work? I kind of saw what they were trying to do, but they never actually did it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Looking at it from outside, it really almost just looked like a confidence issue. Like they didn't feel like they had enough information to make the move in. And you could really kind of see it in the way that they had set up, but there was no progression. They made it down to like 2 minutes. The 2.5 minutes, the time call out came in. But no movement. Still a couple of suppressors. They did a great job, though, of keeping the defenders' heads down. Keeping Traden from being able to continuously peek that spot and be able to spot out the members in the east and the movement on the lake side. But unfortunately, it didn't garner them any other additional info. And I heard the drone come out on the last push of the round, and it just confuses me because that would have been nice to pull out. At that 3-minute mark, or when the time call came for 2.5 minutes. Like, that's when I would have broke out that drone, took it out for a quick lap over the objective, and just tried to pinpoint as many of them as I can so we could call strike and then just move it. That's the only thing I could see, because realistically that eastern defense from the Five Horsemen was fairly weak on the east side, as I mentioned earlier in the round. I think Nick G and Tiago could have probably done a little bit more to push in there. But otherwise, the Five Horsemen did a good job of blocking it down and holding them out to time.
Thank you for that, Sleepy. And just in time for the end of your analysis, we have got the start of the next round. Round 4 underway here as the Five Horsemen take the lead for the first time on a nice little defensive play there. We'll see if their offense can have a little bit more luck than the Killettos in the previous round. Defense setting up pretty interesting positions. One on the south end of that lake, 2 on the inside, 1 in Traden's position earlier, and 1 just on the eastern side of that ridge. 5 Horsemen, meanwhile, do get the southeast spawn instead of the southwest. They're going to have to push through a bit of a shorter distance and not have to deal with crossing the lake, though they did send one over there in the southwest, as you can see on that map. A nice little firing line here set up by the Horsemen as they do their scouting. Tia, the first one to spot out any players. That call out will come in.
I love how far away Fino is from everyone. It's also a little bit dangerous, right? I mean, he's really counting on none of his teammates to go down on objective, because if he's the last alive, it's not going to be good. It's Cap City at that point.
I mean, it's an interesting position now because there is somebody approaching from that southwest, so it should work to his advantage as long as these shots land.
Oh man, does Fino see him? I think Fino saw him.
Well, he's definitely heard him now.
Yeah.
As the suppress shots come in.
Oh, he missed.
He misses the shots initially, and now his position is given away. Steve will have a little extra time here to figure out where Fino is, and I think we're going to be watching a little bit of a sniper battle here.
I'm interested to see what Tia's going to do here, too. I mean, 3 are quickly approaching.
There it is. There it is. He does find the shot. Sorry to cut you off there. Steve gives up on the angle. Surprisingly, Tia finds trading on that push here. Just like that, 2 members of the Horsemen are out. Nice
that grenade might get Doctor. Oh, no. Oh.
It does in the end.
It does.
The shot's down, and the grenade finishes as Tia finds 2 here, and now it's just up to Enigma and Reaper Madness, I believe, as the final members of the 5 Horsemen. 3 minutes, 30 seconds in. Tia makes the call out as the smoke careens over his head. He is watching that push back. He doesn't seem to spot Enigma heading into that tunnel, so no information there, and that could be dangerous as Reaper Madness now watching this angle.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. He's creeping up on him.
This could be a really dangerous situation for Tia, but honestly, 3 minutes left with all 5 Killettos up. This is looking like another repeat of that last round where the offense just doesn't quite find a foothold on their approach to that objective. They are now going to sync back up. Enigma and Reaper both tucked in here.
Ooh, good reflexes by Tia. I think Reaper might have thought he got him because of that quick drop.
Yeah, Reaper definitely called out that he found that pick.
Ooh.
Now Tia looking for the response shots. Not gonna land. And now Reaper knows the mistake he made. Oh, and he goes for the reload smoke. And Tia finds another pick. That is 3 for him on this round.
But now he's got to deal with Enigma. It's just, Tia just keeps getting one at a time. They're funneling in one at a time into Tia, and Tia is just handling it like a champ. Oh, there comes the confirmation. Enigma's still looking for Tia.
He does find him in the end.
That was quite a tear that Tia was on.
I don't think Enigma knows he's the last one.
Well, if he doesn't, he does now. I feel like he's kind of going in real quick, like.
Well, he doesn't have a whole lot of time. There it is.
Yep.
The poop call out. Figuring out he's the last one alive. Minute and 20 seconds left. He's got most of the Killettos still on the list.
Yeah, time is just running out here.
Oh, he does find one. Turbo with the down. That is going to be call-outs, though, for the Killettos. Not an ideal situation for Enigma. He's going to be forced to rotate a long way anyway. But he's only got 60 seconds to do it. And there is still Fino watching with that scoped rifle all the way out on the west side of that lake. 45 seconds left. I think we're going to run into another time out here, as Enigma's not going to be able to... and just the run alone should take about 20 seconds to get there, so not a lot of chance for him to be able to cap the objective, let alone find 3 picks.
And we still have that sniper, Phenoram, looking at that lake, trying to find an angle on Enigma. I see the laser is barely just... Oh, yep, Pheno sees him. Wow,
And
nice shot.
Fantastic shot from the ridge as Pheno will clean up the last member of the 5 Horsemen and get themselves tied back up in this series 2-2. Sleepy, is that objective cursed? That's my question to you.
No, I don't think it's cursed, and what I do think is the Killettos had the right idea, getting a little aggressive on their defense. I mean, just look at Tiagra, or Tia as you guys refer to him as in round. He was able to take down 3 with a good look for 4, had he just been kind of looking in the proper direction when he moved out for the confirmation. So a great look there. They had a nice wraparound push from their flanker in Pheno and his sniper. Then of course Pheno coming in clutch there at the end of the round to end it a little bit earlier than the timer would have had it. But yeah, I mean, it does seem like teams have problems approaching this, and for good reason. This objective isn't very protected per se. I mean, the defenders have quite a lot of protection, you know, preventing you from approaching it. But even if Marsoc manages to break through on one side or the other, they're still very unprotected when it comes to being on the objective inside. There's hardly any cover inside that warehouse. So, you know, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Otherwise, though, I think Killettos had the right idea, getting a little bit more aggressive on their defense and stopping the bleeding a little earlier, and keeping all 5 attackers from being able to circle up right outside the perimeter of the warehouse and then strike with 2.5 minutes left.
Thanks for that, Sleepy, and just in time again. You got that analyst timer just set every single time, because we are into round number 5 now.
Please.
You please me, Sleepy. You please me very much. Killettos now on the offense. And we've got that warehouse OBJ that Wookie, you had mentioned in that first round.
My favorite.
So we'll see what they opt to do here. We're not seeing that long south rotation, which I'm, happy to see. They're opting to push up right into the core of these tunnels. Defense set up just on the offside. They're just on the other side of the ridge from each other. Actually close enough that Tia is gonna find the bullets of Enigma there and go down first. Shots coming in as Traden finds another. Turbo going down. Nick with the nice refrag on to Traden as a response, and it's just
Thank you, sir.
a down for Turbo. Things have evened out here to a 4v4, and I'm gonna actually pop over here to Mad Outdoors, as I think he's gonna do what I hope he's not trying to do, and that's challenge the 2 outside at this door. He's gonna need to find a grenade. I think Enigma did spot that rotation. He did indeed, as he tucks in from the bullets from Matt. Now we've got ourselves a bit of a firefight here. Frag coming in a little too far.
Mad Outdoors versus 2 defenders.
He does find Enigma. Fantastic shot. My apologies there, but holy cow.
No, you're good. And now he's going to be repositioning, which I think is the smart move, although he kind of stopped. As I was saying that, he's going back now to the same corner. I don't think, does he know that Steve is there?
I don't believe Steve's made any noise just yet. Although Dr. Sean's going to find a little bit of trouble here in just a moment. I'm a little tense here.
Yeah.
A little bit of confirmed shots coming out. That's what Matt was looking for, the confirmed shots, and he will opt to rotate back out as Dr. Sean diligently watches this corner. Pheno is the first one around, and it should be all safe here.
For a moment, I was worried Matt was going to get team killed because all the lasers were looking at him.
Dr. Sean sending a few rounds down towards the shield, not able to find the pick, and a very nice grenade primed by Pheno there. It's gonna get him killed. in the line of duty. And the confirm will come out. A very solid shield play we're seeing in this map so far. Mad Outdoors making Steve a little squirrely here as he opts to rotate back into the objective room and probably...
Ooh, through the wall. Or what happened?
Wait.
Oh.
What?
Wait, what?
Wait. What?
I'm confused too.
What?
Huh?
Sleepy, did you see what just happened there?
I saw him die, and I heard what sounded like a suppressed sniper shot.
So somehow Matt shot Steve, and then the second he shot Steve, Matt got kicked from the game. So that was why I was so confused.
Okay, well, let's wait for the round to be over. Reefer pushes the corner, finds one, finds a second, but cannot find the third. And Killettos will take that offensive victory. I have a thought as to what happened there. He likely was desynced long before that. I think he had been pushing into that doorway, found the kill. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Got shot as he was going in the doorway.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually registered until he got behind the box there.
Correct.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's a very good possibility. But otherwise, a great round still overall by the Killettos on that attack. Couple of key pointers here that I wanted to make as far as this round goes. Mad Outdoors able to... What the key thing he was able to do, other than to get those couple of picks there on that side, was he was able to distract the entire defense while those three guys pushed in through the tunnels. And then Fino, that guy is just killing it with his shield play. I gotta give it to him. Smart stuff there from him. He took that pre-fire from I think it was Dr. Sean there as he was watching that corner. He took it. He progressed up slowly as to not expose his body through the IK issues, and then when Dr. Sean pushed off, he threw that nade and managed to get the kill, which really helped his team be able to push in that corridor there. So great job there from both of those two players. They really made some key decisions there that not only positively affected their team, but really just distracted and or caused havoc for the defense. So great play there from Killettos. The Five Horsemen put up a heck of a fight there, and it seems like that desync issue that Noman has did pretty accurate. That seems pretty accurate to me. I mean, unfortunately for them on that, but otherwise still a good round, and it's still a great game. So
I just want to commend the Killettos on their incredible shield play. I know you kind of already mentioned it, but they are just on fire with that shield, like overall tactics being used. And credit goes to Fino for being such a great shield player, but all those teammates are perfectly in sync with the shield and just working very well together. I always like to see that.
Was a fantastic series to watch despite a small hiccup there from Mad Outdoors, I assume internet service provider, so big shout out to ISPs everywhere for delivering that really rock solid connection on which we all play. We are following the Five Horsemen in as they push through the tunnel. They're going to be going, I mean, we're basically seeing the opposite pushes from these teams. They're pushing from, one pushes from the outside north, the other goes from the inside south, and then we're seeing the same sort of juxtaposition here as the Five Horsemen opt to rotate through these northern tunnels.
It is a smart push to go through the tunnels, and then like they're avoiding the inner tunnels completely, right? The Five Horsemen are opting to go for an outdoor approach. They're going to breach those doorways, and then they're going to come in hard, I imagine, especially with that shield being on the front lines.
Yeah, that shield is absolutely crucial for controlling these doors. I mean, if you could have two, I would honestly opt to have two, one for each doorway.
Yeah, no kidding.
To try to push through here. But yeah, Steve is going to be the one trying to control this push from the Five Horsemen.
I think the perfect ideal setup would be like two shields with two SA-80s covering each one, right? And then you have that one specialist.
Yeah, I think that would be a pretty dangerous approach, and I'm sure we're going to see it at some point in the league here. Mad Outdoors sending a few rounds out as he rotates in. Looks like he's having those connection issues again. You can see him kind of teleporting. Unfortunately, there as Trayden finds the pick on Fino on the inside. Steve pushes in a little too early, not supported by his team there. Mad Outdoors will find two as Enigma goes down as well. And now it's a 4v3.
That's what I'm saying. You got to be in sync with your shield, and if the shield is out of sync with the rest of the squad, it spells trouble for them.
Tia does find Reaper as he pushes through that side door. That was the final offense on the outside. It's now just Dr. Sean and Traden on the inside. They push through the smoke. The trade will come out as Mad Outdoors sitting on the shield. Dr. Sean is in the smoke. He's kind of playing this very covert.
Out. He's prone.
He's a little too.
He's typing the code.
He's too far. He's still way too far. Tia should be able to spot him out, and there it is. He does find the pick, and Killettos will be the ones taking the first map here on Snow Peak in this series.
That's exactly what I was expecting from Killettos. A strong map 1 finish. I mean, that's pretty commanding, right? 4-2 against the 5 Horsemen. Considering where the Killettos were last season, this is a huge, like improvement for Killettos overall.
It is. It was a solid play to get them there in the end, and a good defense. 5 Horsemen not quite in sync there on their offense. Sleepy, did you notice anything in particular about that play?
No, I think things fell apart just situationally. I don't think anything key happened that really drove or well, okay, there were a few moments. The first one was kind of perched in position outside or just inside the door that Steve, the shield user, was approaching. And before they got to the doorway, Matt decides to stand up and move off and take like a different angle, not only making a bunch of noise and giving away his position, but also kind of prompting them to get started in their fight. And I think that's right where they get the initial kill on the 5 Horsemen side onto the defense, and then things go from there. But I mean, overall, a great play, and Tiagra being able to pick up the back flanker as things winded down there towards the end, it was great. He did a great job in doing that and really helped them focus on where the attack was coming from. And Dr. Sean, though, all props to him there. He really almost got in there, and that smoke was giving him good coverage. If it had just taken the defense a little bit longer to figure out where he was, he might have been in range and been able to send that code, and that would have been a 5 Horsemen win instead of a Killettos win. But GG's to the Killetto. They're really showing that improvement that we've talked about earlier on in the pregame. 5 Horsemen also showing that their consistency is up from last season and previous seasons, as well as even this season, where they've kind of had a bit of a shakier start, but are on their way. It's still early in the season. We got to remind everyone, right? These movements, these placements, they're all early prototypes, basically. There's a long list of matches still to be played within this season to change things up. But overall, I think Killettos did deserve that win, fair enough. The 5 Horsemen played hard, but I do think the Killettos brought the better strategies if you look at it as a whole.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that statement. I think that last round does come down to, had there been an extra smoke in a different position, pointed a different way, that could have been an absolutely different end to that map. I think he definitely had the potential to send that code if he had just enough cover, but the call out had come out for Mad Outdoors that somebody was inside. He wasn't like completely invisible. That the team did know he was in that area, so he would have had to have been pretty quick about his cap if he wanted to get it in there. But definitely potential showing there for an interesting map. And the second map, as you can see, is already loaded up and ready. We're just waiting for the teams to get in. Cargo will be our map 2 choice. Wookie, what are your thoughts on this? So this is obviously the 5 Horsemen pick, as they are on the offense for this round. What do you think we're going to see here?
I am kind of over here scratching my head, just hoping that the 5 Horsemen pick the right map here, because Killettos have been killing it in the close quarters. I mean, Snow Peak was a very large map, but most of those objectives from the last map were very close quarters. So to kind of go to yet another close quarters map based on the tactics that Killettos have been displaying for us, I don't know. I hope that the 5 Horsemen have been practicing some different tactics and plays on Cargo that'll really blindside the Killettos and take them, hit them a little off guard. But I kind of question this map pick, because Killettos are very strong. with their shield game, and Cargo is a through and through a shield game kind of map. So
Yeah, I was gonna say the shield, I think, is what really would make me rethink this choice. How much damage the shield did in that last map. Should definitely have factored into this choice, but 5 Horsemen feeling strong. Sleepy, is it warranted? Are they warranted to feel strong on Cargo? Sleepy's vanished. Sleepy is...
Oh, my apologies. I thought I was unmuted. Let me just take a look really quick. Well, they're currently 100% win rate on Cargo for this season. Let's look at last season and see how they fared. They were 80% win rate on Cargo last season, so yeah, it does look like a smart play from the 5 Horsemen to choose this. Killettos, though, aren't weak here. Let's see. Let's get their stats here on this map. Killettos have not played Cargo in Season 9. But in Season 8, their win rate was about a third, so 33% win rate on Cargo. So this could be the right decision, in fact, for the 5 Horsemen. But Killettos haven't played this map yet this season, so maybe they've improved significantly on it, and we just haven't been able to witness it.
Yeah, interesting. To hear that a team has not played Cargo for a season, to me at least, is pretty surprising. Cargo is one of those sort of staple maps for a lot of the aggressive teams, and especially teams that love the shield. So it's a little shocking to me that the team that just displayed fantastic shield work opts to not play one of the main maps where it can do the most damage. Interesting choices all around, but we are just waiting on the teams to ready up. And while we have this moment, I'd like to just take a minute to thank our sponsors, ProTube and VR Cover. My apologies. They're just one company now. They've combined together. No.
ProTube Cover.
No.
Get your silicone anti-hygiene measures for ProTube.
No. VR Cover
ProTubeCover.com
and ProTube VR are the two sponsors, and we do appreciate them providing the prizes that these players play for at the end of the season, and but just in general for supporting VR and making fantastic products. So thank you to those guys, and thank you to everybody who tuned in, is subscribing and dropping bits and participating in the chat. We love all of that. Make sure you're clipping all these fantastic moments. We've had a very good map 1 already,
for sure.
so we should have quite a few clips for the players to watch back later. To appreciate you guys hanging out with us on your Saturday night. I know there's lots to do, but
It's a shame I don't have a show to do anymore to bring you folks the clips weekly.
hey, that doesn't mean the clips shouldn't exist.
That's true. That's very true. That doesn't mean you people shouldn't do your job, which is clipping. Sorry. That made that sound very authoritative. Sorry.
That was very direct.
Do what you want. I'm sorry.
That was very direct. Well, I am tempted as a caster here to throw to a quick intermission while we figure out what's going on with the teams, only because every time I hit that intermission button, the teams like to start playing. So maybe just threatening it will have them kick this second map off. No, it doesn't look like it. All right, I'm gonna throw us to a quick, just a 2-minute intermission. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right after this. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. A quick time out there to resolve some technical issues, but as I said, just going to the intermission scene is what usually makes these teams go forward. And we've got Killettos on the defense, 5 Horsemen with the smoky offense as they're pushing through heavy here. The gunfire coming in from Mad Outdoors onto Steve, and a nice little frag will find that pick.
Dr. Sean
it's a down.
Oh.
Ooh, quite a bit of action on the objective as Olivio finds Sean. Traden finds Olivio, and Madness will get himself a pick as well. And now it is 3 members of Horsemen, 2 down, 2 members of the defense converge. Traden walks into some fire and burns himself to death.
You know, that it's so funny how the smokes ironically were their detriment, right? He walked right into the fire as the last guy because there's so much smoke everywhere. He couldn't see it.
I mean, what a great use of the Molotovs there. That is a quick rush objective for a lot of teams, so it's not surprising to have that sort of play that 5 Horsemen just had there. Sleepy, what are your thoughts on how that turned out? I know it's a lot of action in a short period of time, but...
Well, I think I'd mainly cover the points that you talked about, which was the great use of Molotovs there to kind of shut down the entrance routes. I mean, and you saw it work because Traden touched it with his tippy toe and then burned himself to death. So, great play idea from them there. They avoided the cap. They double teamed. I mean, that guy just got Reefer Madness got crushed on the objective with the double turbo and someone else. I forget who that was, but. A great round overall from both sides. You know, 5 Horsemen had a shot there. It was looking good for a moment. Killettos used the lane denial of the Molotovs really smart, really intelligently here to shut down the approach aisles for the 5 Horsemen. So great points on both sides, but Killettos managed to come out with it, and now it's their turn to attack.
I'm just so impressed that smoke covered the Molotovs just enough that Traden walked right into it.
My favorite was the grenade play onto Steve with the shield in the tunnel. I think that was a nice choice pickup because that shield rotating around the backside can be it can be a real dangerous play.
There was so much happening. I completely missed the tunnel.
And not an easy map to cover when the action is hot as it is here right now, but we are getting ourselves into it. Was so hot I didn't even do the round 1 banner. That's how quickly and how hotly we got into that round. We'll see if Killettos respond in kind with a hot and fast push of their own as Steve pushes the corner, finds a couple of shots from Tia, but it doesn't work out. And 2 members of the offense down already as Turbo dies in the tunnel. Enigma pushing the corner here, not able to deal with Fino's shield. And we've got Olivia with a shield as well, so that's...
Ooh, that grenade might find... Oh, it does find Doctor.
Dr. Sean does manage to down and out the second shield. Olivia is now out of the running, and it's just up to Fino and Mad Outdoors here as the last 2 remaining members of the Killettos. They're going to be opting to push through this tunnel. Come around the backside here, and it looks like Traden is ready on this corner.
It's a bit of a sloppy push coming out of Killettos, unfortunately. But I did like to see that there was 2 shields in use. That was very nice.
Ooh, Traden.
Oh no, Matt turns around.
Oh, what a fantastic play by Madness there on a nice rotation. Does find the shots. Sleepy, did you think that was sloppy?
We lost Sleepy.
Sleepy definitely thinks it was sloppy because he can't even find the words for how sloppy it was.
No.
There he is. Sleepy decided to join the cast. Sleepy, what are your thoughts on that round?
I mute myself in the round so you guys don't hear me sipping my whiskey and clickety clacking on my keyboard.
Sure. Drink it on the job. Drink it on the job is what you tell me. Okay.
A little break here as I break down your freaking action between the rounds, but no, I wouldn't say it was sloppy as much as the Killettos just kind of got caught out in the open early on. The nade kill from Olivio was great. Unfortunately, he kind of traded that with the guy who he downed. And then Fino is their shield user, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and then Fino is unfortunately just a little too slow to get to that container crack that a lot of people have been using lately to kind of get a peek out towards the objective. Because I think if he or someone else even could have peeked through there at just the right time, he could have caught the approaching defender who came to res Olivio and really shut that down right away and helped tilt the scales back into their favor and deny them that res. So a couple of mistakes, sure. I don't think it was like a bad round. I don't think it was sloppy, for example, but definitely not one of their better ones.
I was hoping to see Fino shoot through the crack, but he did just take too long to get there.
It is a pretty common play these days to have somebody tuck in there, especially for that objective. But the objective has shifted, and our third round is now underway. So we've got the Killettos on the defense. We are seeing that smoke play again. Cargo definitely known for the most smoke utilizations. You should wear a gas mask. It's hard to breathe. Steve finding shots early on. Thankfully with that shield, keeping him alive as more smokes continue to pour out onto the objective. And now Tia and Fino pushing this corner. Fino's going to have to be the first one to deal with something as the C4 comes out. The offense does spot it. Tia does find one. Oh, he finds a second on a nice little peek in the corner here, and 2 of the 5 horsemen are down and out just like that.
Steve might find himself in trouble with that grenade. Oh, the C4 takes so much is happening.
Dr. Sean is downed as well, and Tia does find the head of Steve with the shield. And Killettos will find themselves a defensive win. I will say near perfect, as all 5 remained up there.
Great answer back to the last round that just happened.
Yeah, fantastic play overall. Sleepy, was it the C4? It was the C4 that did it, right?
No, for me it was Tia over there defending his homeland from oppressors. He really shut things down over there. He managed to get one pick on the backside, sneaking in. The attacker's completely unaware of his presence. Then he goes and throws a confirmation grenade to that person who he downed, and not only does he get the confirmation that was completely unneeded because he confirmed him when he killed him, but he also picks up Dr. Sean, who is approaching through the building, so taking down yet another. Then, at the very same time that Olivio gets taken down and everything else is kind of going on the opposite side of the map, he manages to take down Steve and the shield as well to clear the map, clear the round, and Killettos pull off as what Noman described and what I would kind of agree as a nearly perfect defensive round for that objective. So kudos to them, and great work so far on both defense and offense.
Tia has been on fire on these defensive rounds.
He is the MVP so far of this game.
Absolutely.
Well, we are still early into the game as there is another map after this, and we're only on round 4 of this map, but the shots are ringing out early, and we're seeing a very similar push from the Killettos, this time working in the offense's favor. As Turbo goes down, Dr. Sean finds Olivio on a push on the inside. Enigma finds another as they come through, and now it's 4v3. The grenades coming in over Penoram's shoulder. Enigma does find Tia. Nice little frag there. Doesn't quite find what he wants. Rez comes in. I like that. Rez didn't even have to put the shield down, and Enigma is just absolutely dominating anyone peeking up over Fino's shield.
Just like that, there's just 2 members of Killettos remaining against the 4 members of 5 Horsemen.
Good call out there by the offense. No nade contact with the shield will be made as Tiagra pushes through. Over the shoulder of Fino, now through the box here. The sound's coming in. Looks like Tia did hear Traden's toss. Not quite catching the elbow there as Traden rotates out. He does find him on the rotation, though, evening things out a little bit. It's a 3v2, and now we've got a defender on a flank, Steve, pushing through this side. If they're not aware, he's going to catch the backside of 2. Tia, though, does hear. He's shooting through the grates, and the trade coming in, but the trade goes in the favor of defense. And now it's all up to Fino as he drops the shield and takes out the gun. He's got a lot of work to do. Enigma on the rotation to pick up Steve, but goes the wrong way, and Fino finds another one as Dr. Sean now checks the long tunnel, and Fino not able to pull through there in the end, but a solid play by Killettos. Not solid enough as the Five Horsemen pick up their round win and tie things up here 2-2.
These cargo rounds are so tight, back and forth, you know, it's... I guess I'm kind of eating my words on this cargo pick. I mean, we kind of did expect like a nice, strong cargo map coming out of both sides here, especially with the Five Horsemen picking this map. I know that they have good strategies here, and it's showing.
Yeah, this is quite a, I mean, what I like to affectionately call a back and forther. The teams are just really taking it to each other in that first minute and a half. I mean, as much damage as they can inflict, they try to inflict as quickly as possible. Sleepy, is that the key here? I mean, is it just fighting fire with fire, aggression with aggression?
You know, it really depends on the team, in my opinion. But for me, the Killettos right now aren't able to really execute all the way on Marsoc. They're getting a good initial push into the round, getting a nice placement, getting nice, you know, real estate on the map towards the objective. But then it kind of stalls. Enigma did a great job shutting down the push there from the Killettos in that last round, and I'll get cut short here a little bit as we cut into the next round, but we can discuss that a little bit more later. Though overall, I think Five Horsemen, you know, definitely playing their defense very strong as well.
Indeed, and round 5 is now underway. Five Horsemen on the offense. Both teams still in good spirits, as you would expect from a tight match like these. These are just fun to play. It doesn't even, you know, sometimes it doesn't even matter who wins, as long as you have a good time doing it. Got 3 of the Five Horsemen here pushing in through the west. Shots coming out from Enigma early, looking for any defender on the corner, but there is not one there, and the C4 detonates early as well. The Killettos a little antsy here, expecting a heavier rush than there is, and a trade not going to fall for that. Not going to fall for that Molotov twice.
Interesting. Interesting Molotov choice. I would have maybe thrown it in the middle under the double stack. But ooh, Reefer and Olivia going at it. Olivia finds Reefer. Traden coming in for the refrag. Just barely misses the opportunity. And now Olivia knows that someone is there. I think he's going to try and... oh, he's just reloading. I thought he was going to try and frag him or something. Oh, Doctor finds Olivia through the crack of that container.
Yeah, dangerous little spot to sit in, too. You can be peeked on from so many different spots. The trade coming out from Enigma and Fino. Fino down on the objective. C4 detonation will confirm Enigma.
Beautiful C4. Even though it's a confirmation, it's better than nothing, because he would have definitely gotten revived.
Dr. Sean and Traden both looking for Tia there. As now we've got Steven on the side.
Yeah.
On the west there, making that push through, but Dr. Sean and Traden engaged in quite a firefight here as...
Not Outdoors and Steve are about to, walk right into each other.
Steve does find the pick, though, and that's a huge pickup here for the Horsemen as they've evened things out 3-3. Pino makes the push to the outside, but Tia will find both. Traden and Dr. Sean are out. Now it's just up to Steve with the shield on the inside.
Tia, he's on fire. Okay, not literally, but also literally.
I mean, if they're not careful with those Molotovs, he could be. But he is doing a fantastic job. Steve, though, not quite out yet as he finds the pick on to Fino. I think Fino underestimated that shield user just a little bit.
It's easy to underestimate them.
Yeah, you don't really know who it is, right? We've got the name tags, but players just see, you know, they just see the players. They don't see any names. They don't know who's got the shield. Tia almost able to find Steve there as he fumbles for that smoke.
Yeah, Steve is in trouble. I mean, he's kind of blocked himself or painted himself into a corner here. He's getting flanked as we speak.
Oh, I like that play. Turbo was just doing the suppression, and Tia rotated around to find the angle as he tried to push out through the smoke. Did not work out in Steve's favor, and Killettos will take the lead here 3-2.
Wow.
Tia with 10 on the round. Sleepy. I don't know. Just tell me that everything's going to be all okay, and that Tia won't come to my house and do what he's doing here on the field.
Yeah, no. I think Killettos are coming up all thumbs up on their defensive rounds right now. They are looking strong there for sure. A couple of great things there. A grenade that set off a C4, which confirmed a down on a shield in the tunnel. Great play. As you mentioned, the play from Turbo and Tia there, who is 10 up on this map, plus the like 18,000 he got on Snow Peak. He is vying for MVP of the game for sure. And Killettos have continued to up their spread here. If they can manage to finally find that blessed Marsoc round, they will get the win here, get their 4 points, secure the series, and be able to relax a little bit for map 3. But the 5 Horsemen aren't making it easy. Their defensive rounds have also been rock solid, so we'll have to see what happens. But right now, the Killettos are definitely showing that they're improved on cargo as compared to their last season's stat on the map.
Yeah, I would hope to see a little bit more cargo played in the future, especially given 5 Horsemen's sort of predilection for being quite good at the map. But we'll see how good they are, because we're getting ourselves into round 6 now, and the Killettos will have to find that offensive win here if they want to try and take the series right here on map 2. Otherwise, the Horsemen will have another opportunity after this defensive win to take it to a third map decider, which, as we all know, is a caster's favorite. It's the caster special, is what we call that. Tia getting aggressive on this offensive push. Gotta be careful, as Enigma is the one in position to deal with that kind of aggression, although he's still just kind of watching that tunnel exit on the east. And the push now coming through. Fino on the inside of the shield. He tucks it on the corner, and Enigma gets one of the easiest kills he's going to have all game as Fino puts his back into his gun on that push, and the shield is out. Now Enigma's got a shield to work with. This is the web of lasers objective, as everybody's kind of got their angles and is watching for anybody to push through. A bit of a flubbed grenade there. Oh, almost downing himself. I'm not sure either of those grenades are what Enigma wanted. Throwing stuff is hard. Livio makes another toss. There we go. Those grenades are going out a little bit better as the smoke now starts to pile in on the objective. Not a bad little smoke there. Traden will go reposition it. A smart play there. So Enigma sending a few shots down towards the objective. There's going to be quite a few crossing. Livio does find Reaper Madness. What dangerous set of peaks there. Dr. Sean will find Olivio, but a quick refrag by Tiago will take him out of the running. Traden does find Reaper Madness.
Oh, man.
Oh, it is just refrag after refrag. As Tia finds one, taken down by Reaper, and Traden will find another res here. As the shots are just continuously trading back and forth, looking for one. Turbo finds one. Steve with the quick refrag will find Turbo, and just like that, on Enigma's final kill, the Horsemen will take their defensive round and take it to a tie ball game here to decide the second map and potentially the series. Tia gets one kill and Killettos don't win the round. Coincidence? Sleepy.
No, I think it's just the 5 Horsemen really locking down on their defense. They realized what was on the line in that last round. That was game point. That was series match game point right there, basically. That was life point basically for them in this matchup, and they locked it down pretty well. Though the Killettos were definitely going pretty strong there. Unfortunately, they lose their shield in the beginning, so notes to Phenaram to definitely check that corner that Dr. Sean was in, because or maybe it was Enigma. I think maybe it was either Enigma or Dr. Sean. Okay, Enigma. So otherwise that was working out pretty well for them. A lot of refrags going on, as you mentioned, in the rounds. I really thought Killettos had cleared up that eastern side, and they were going to come down and start attempting on the cap. But I think maybe they overutilized utility early on, and they lost that advantage going on into the later rounds. So GG's to the 5 Horsemen in that one. A good round from them. They definitely defended their place here and held Killettos back. But now Killettos are going to go into this series / map / everything deciding point. Not everything, because it's not the finals or anything, but you know what I'm saying. They're going to go into this next round on defense, and so far their defense on cargo has been pretty standout.
Get it, baby. Get it.
There's the excitement coming out of the Horsemen. They want to, and I quote, get it. So we'll see if they get it here in this final round of this map as we get into round 7 of map 2 here. Killettos versus Horsemen. A lot of excitement, a lot of boisterous joy on the 5 Horsemen side. We'll see if it pays off here as Steve makes the tip of the spear push through the middle with the shield. Killettos opting for a very tucked-in defense. In fact, only 2 members in front of the objective. 3 tucked in behind. Not going to expect to see a lot of action here, and the 5 Horsemen are expecting a defensive rush. It looks like both teams are expecting a pretty hefty push, and neither willing to be the one to give it to the other team first. Not a lot of intel available here, as really nobody pushed. I mean, Steve was the only one with an angle to be able to spot any sort of defensive positioning. But there would not have been a lot of info to give anyway, as none of the defenders have actually pushed out into any of the sort of standard positions. I mean, this guard shack is usually occupied, but the rest of these positions are very loose. Looks like Tia's...
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the 5 Horsemen are just playing it super slow, making sure that there's no aggressive defenders, which I don't know why there would be, but they're just really taking their time with this one.
I think they should start to get the picture that there's not going to be a lot of defensive aggression here on a deciding round like this. But this is one of those things that, as a captain of a team and a longtime player, I have a hard time with. When you're winning and you have a particular strategy that's working, right? I always find it so difficult to stop doing the thing that works just because you get, you sort of get tense. You want to try to win without taking too many risks. But if risks is the thing that wins you the round, maybe it's better to take the risk. And so these kind of situations are always interesting to me. We saw basically 6 rounds of aggressive, constant pushes, heavy smokes, heavy pushes. And then here we are in the sort of map decider, and both teams have cold feet.
It's exactly to what your point is. Like earlier, 5 Horsemen came out strong with the smokes and aggression. Now it's like they're playing kind of a little too timid in my book, and they may pay for that dearly. It kind of shows the mindset that they're in, like how nervous they are to lose this.
Yeah, and I would expect that from the 5 Horsemen, but from the Killettos, I don't know. I mean, the defense has been working the way it's been working, and they haven't been full on aggressive. They're not playing a Danglers or a Blaze style defense, but they're definitely doing one or two sort of pushing the outside, pushing the boundaries of their defensive range, and trying to make the offense uncomfortable. We didn't see a lot of that here, but now the smokes come pouring in. I think I counted 8 total as they came in. Turbo is going to find the first pick onto Traden. but just a down. That smoke cover is perfect to allow the rest.
Downed himself with the fire, unfortunately. I'm not sure how that happened.
I think he downed himself with C4, and then?
He burned himself somehow. I'm not sure what happened, but... Ooh.
Oh, a nice little push by Steve there. Tia is able to find him, and more. As he finds two. Oh my goodness, Traden and Tia will trade out entirely. And now Reaper Madness is on objective, but that... Oh, and Turbo is likely going to burn to death. Yes, indeed.
It comes down to a 1v1 situation.
A 1v1 with an unfortunate... I mean, that's two unfortunate burns. Quite literally. Enigma does spot out Mad Outdoors on the rotation. Will he be ready for him here? He's making a lot of noise. Enigma now has to be cautious. He only got a minute and 36 left, but if he rounds this corner, he should know. There is one tucked in here. I don't think Matt knows Enigma's here, though. Is he going to be ready on this corner for the map? Matt not ready. Enigma does find the pick, and 5 Horsemen will find the first Marsoc win on Cargo to get themselves the map win. And we're going to a third map decider. Sleepy, what are your thoughts? You heard Wookie and I sort of mulling over the decisions by both teams there, but what are your thoughts?
I'm kind of hurt for the Killettos. That sucks for them. Like, they had the series right there in the hands, and just a series of unfortunate events, killing themselves. I think 2 different people in there killed themselves with fire. So what worked out for them in one round of Cargo definitely hurt them in that last round, and leaving it up to a 1v1, and you know, Matt not knowing that it's even there, where Enigma, having seen Matt kind of cross out through the open, it was bound to happen. There was really no other alternative, but you know, good on the 5 Horsemen. They found that edge in the very last moment when they needed it, and now we're in a Series 3 decider, and I think we can all agree that we all love the Series 3 decider, you know, the map 3 deciders for the series. So good job to 5 Horsemen for keeping it up and keeping it close like this. I'm excited to see what we get here from map 3.
Yeah, map 3 has been chosen, and everybody at home listening to Sleepy already knows where we're at. We're on Bazaar Night. So another night map choice by the Killettos, really leaning into that. What I'm going to guess is the shield NVG laser combo, and you know, using the I would say the not unpreparedness, but sort of the shock factor of a night map on some of these teams that don't often play them. We'll see if it goes in their favor here. We'll start out on offense. Wookie, what are your thoughts on Bazaar Night? I mean, we sort of talked about the merits of Snow Peak Night, but do those carry over?
Absolutely. I mean, Bazaar is one of those maps where you have some long open lanes, but a lot of it's pretty much mid-range combat, which is more than enough for a good shield player to take you out with, especially if they have the night vision laser combo. It's like deadly efficient, right? And not only that, but for the non-shield players, they now have to sacrifice a point to equip night vision, so that's one less piece of utility, or you know, that's no more body armor for you. That's you're sacrificing something to get that night vision gear. So it's really powerful, I think, to have these night maps paired with a strong shield player, because you have to sacrifice something on your loadout in order to counter them.
Yeah, absolutely. Sleepy, do you think Bazaar Night is going to go the way that Snow Peak Night went for the Killettos? Do you think their night choices are going to be the thing that decides the maps here, or are we going to see some sort of surprise from 5 Horsemen?
I mean, it very well could. Not every team works on night maps. Some not at all. I mean, I don't ever recall when I was on the Danglers us working on any night versions of maps. I mean, it's the same map, it's just the lights got turned out, right? But in fact, there are differences. There are new spots. There are places you can hide that you couldn't hide in the day, that the night versions do allow. So I remember, I think it was Silent Purge, I want to say. No, I'm sorry, not Silent Purge. Scratch that. It was not Silent Purge.
Sinister Pride?
Thank you. Were known for a while for choosing night maps in order to kind of gain the edge on their opponents, and they played them well. But I'm not sure. We'll see. But it all depends realistically on the preparedness of the 5 horsemen for night maps. Do they play them? Is it something that they practice? Are they aware of the threat of those in competitive play? These are all questions that just have to be answered, and I think we'll find out those answers as soon as this first round kicks off and we see how the 5 horsemen and the Killettos fare going head to head.
Yeah, we are pretty much everybody loaded in, just waiting on one to ready up. I assume there are some interesting strategies to have to work out. I'll be curious to see what they look like in play, and I won't have to wait too much longer because everybody's ready. We are good to go. Let's head into our gameplay. Round 1 underway here. We have got the Killettos spawning here in the northwest. We're gonna come hang out. They've got that center street objective by the Humvees. We'll see what the approach looks like. We are still seeing the shield. No surprise there as Fino, Turbo, and Matt push down the northwest corridor. They're gonna be running quickly into Traden's gun. Fino does spot that out. Traden as well. Both callouts have been made.
Looks like Enigma is going to get on the rafters. That might be really bad news for Killettos as he already takes out Fino. He is just downed, though. Oh,
Just
Enigma fell off.
Did indeed a little damage to himself. Fino down out in the open. Good callouts available, but a res is going to be quite risky.
Enigma using Mayhem callouts. Interesting. May have caught on. He's letting him know that Olivio is in the courtyard behind him. So, yeah, Olivio's... I don't know what Olivio's doing.
Smokes are now coming out. These are going to be looking for that revive onto Fino, most likely. Matt rotating through. They've got good coverage. Traden not watching right now.
Oh, yeah, great coverage. He gets that revive off.
Stuck inside of each other. Thanks to the IK, Enigma does find the final kill onto Fino.
Possible minus in red on market.
So that,
You know, kind of running around like a chicken with his head cut off there.
Reefer Madness finds Tia in the market. Olivio now aware of this position. Is he going to be able to get the refrag? It's not looking like it. Ooh, he's using that bullpup rifle. We'll see a lot of that. Matt Outdoors with the nice pick onto Enigma, finally dropping the guy causing all this trouble for the street crosses. Still revivable by his team, but not likely to happen here as Olivio finds Reefer. Finally, the patience pays off. The milk truck defender is down. Now it is just 3 horsemen up with Enigma on a...
All right, Enigma, you gotta be our eyes on that side.
And there you can hear Dr. Sean saying it. You got to be our eyes on that east side. They're not going to go pick him up, but he is going to give them a little bit of information.
One contact in the dark.
Matt is smart using that shield to just get across cover and peek corners and just make sure it's okay or safe to do so before moving out, but it's having some difficulties with the shield.
No, he's trying to give it to Turbo. Turbo doesn't want it.
Okay.
I totally understand, Turbo. You can keep that shield all to yourself, buddy. I don't need that hampering me.
It's so funny watching shields with the shield on the player's back. They look like a Ninja Turtle or something.
Matt is now pushing up and through. So they're going to hear the call out here as Olivio crosses. There we go. Enigma will confirm the call out giver. But enough information given to the defense to know they've got someone approaching from the east. 2 coming from the west. And let's come over here as I just noticed Steve tucked in up top here. I think he was hearing.
Yeah, I think you heard the shield drop a couple times. As Turbo finds Dr. Sean in that little nook right by the Humvee. Is slowly evening things up. So now, actually, Killettos have the advantage now. 5 Horsemen only have 2 members up. One of them is not on objective. Ooh, almost finds Traden.
Mad Outdoors does find Steve, though, and it's a 3-1. Traden, the last one left. And he is not on objective, and forcing him to rotate back means that Olivio can find that pick, and Killettos can find that win on Marsoc.
That was a roller coaster.
Yeah, I definitely saw that going the way of 5 Horsemen, but those last couple of positions just a little too antsy, not able to capitalize on their positioning. Sleepy, what were your thoughts on that round?
Well, I think Wookie kind of covered it pretty well. It was back and forth. I had concerns there for Killettos initially, as you know, they lost a couple of their guys early on, but the refrag onto Enigma was crucial, and then Olivio, of course, hearing the call-outs from Enigma as he crossed the street and managing to take out that radio beacon, overall really helping out his team. And then they just managed to kind of think things through and have the right approach, and they managed to just kind of whittle them off one by one. So props to the Killettos. They're a very strong Marsoc round. Now it's time for them to show it on defense. 5 Horsemen, though, they really put up a good fight there in that first round, so can't fault them really anywhere.
Yeah, Enigma's position was just so dangerous. Had he not been downed, I think that round would have easily gone to the 5 Horsemen. Such a strong spot.
Agreed.
Difficult to challenge, and especially on a night map, it's a very dark corridor of that street.
Yeah.
But a good pick there early to down Enigma gives them the edge, and we'll see if the 5 Horsemen can respond in kind. Wookie, you think we're gonna see Steve's shield? You think we're gonna see any extra shields coming out?
Yeah, I wonder if we're gonna see the double shield tactic coming out of Killettos. Or I'm sorry, 5 Horsemen. Let's see, did they? Nope, just the one shield. But still, I mean, you know, strong use. Both teams really utilizing that shield play. They're just lining up.
Almost every single round. I don't think there's been
Yeah.
a round where we haven't seen a shield used, which is interesting. A lot of teams will opt to use them on particular objectives, but
Right.
teams enjoy using them. Oh, we got our first C4 placement here in the middle of the street. And we'll zoom on over really quick to the 5 Horsemen's push, which is all 5.
Where you going? North wall, north wall, north wall. Yep. He's alright. He's alright. He's watching us go around.
I was commenting earlier, they were all in a straight line. Single file line running along the north wall. It was kind of funny. Just something you don't see very often.
No, generally do not see all your resources committed to one side of a map like this, but we'll see if the 5 Horsemen can pull it off. It looks like a practiced play, and there's nothing more that I love than a very well practiced play, and the smokes are out in force. 5, 6.
Oh, all the smokes are out. That's 8 smokes.
Enigma just shot himself with an M9. No idea why, but now it is up to the 4 Horsemen as they push through.
Ooh, they are coming in hard. There's 3 in the building just adjacent to the objective, and only 1 member of Killettos currently on it.
It's an interesting push. Fino's under pressure here already from Traden's position, but if they can keep him tucked in long enough, honestly, Dr. Sean could probably camp right now with the confusion they're causing. Steve pushing with the shield on the outside, doesn't find one. Traden finds Fino. Olivio finds Steve. Doctor gets mad outdoors, and it's just trade for trade out here. The tablet is out. And I think this is going to work as long as nobody finds the pick, and they do find the pick.
Should have called it out.
Oh, 10-9-5 instead of 5-9.
Oh, and the code was mistyped as well. A comedy of errors there from the 5 Horsemen, but despite that fact, they're able to find themselves a win in that round. Sleepy, can you just unmask whatever I just watched? Because I'm not exactly sure what it was that the 5 Horsemen did to warrant that win.
I'm not really sure I'm qualified to do that because it just happened all over the place. Realistically, they got the luck of the draw. The Killettos weren't prepared. The smoke distracted. They pushed very, very hard, 3-man deep into the building next door, and then once they kind of secured and knew that they weren't any immediate threat, they spread out and started attacking the main objective building, and once that happened, it was pretty much all theirs from there. Unfortunate for them that they got the kill versus getting the cap. However, you know, a good look. Things are tied back up. Both teams have now gotten a Marsoc win, so 5 Horsemen could go back to taking a Volk advantage here on the map.
Yeah, it is exactly what they needed, because that is it's a big deal on Bazaar. It's less of a big deal, I think, to me on Cargo. Although, now that I say that, I remember that they did have 6 rounds of Volk wins before the first Marsoc. So I don't know, maybe this match has just got everything topsy-turvy all on its head. Nothing is as it seems. It's probably the night map, you know, it's the night factor coming into play. But we'll see, because we are all ready, and we are getting into our next round, round 3, now underway. And we've got the Killettos on offense, getting that quick spawn for the East Hotel OBJ. I mean, they're reading codes. They are definitely thinking cap. And it would be a very solid pickup for them if they could get one. Olivio, very aggressive early, just ducks inside, starts shooting, and stops a little too soon. Dr. Sean will find that pick, but he'll catch a bullet.
I'm down on objective, -1 in front of Kia.
As a result, the callouts will come out. Turbo with a nice pick here from the edge of the Bazaar is going to even things out, but they got to be quick about it, because that res is going to come out right now. Reefer Madness on the res. Shots ringing out here in this position by Enigma. Very deadly. Tia's not ready for it. He is going to get caught by it. Let's see if I can get a good zoom on it. There it is. A very tight angle on the inside. Tia going to be peeking it. Enigma did spot the elbow.
Yeah, he's ready for Tia to come peeking around that corner. Such a strong line that Enigma has right now in that position where Tia is approaching from.
You could cut the tension with a knife. Tia opting to stay tucked in a little bit. He's still got to wait for a couple of his buddies to come through.
I think that might be what he is waiting for. Yeah.
I think he's also hearing Dr. Sean's communication as he is watching that long corridor trading. Taking a few shots out towards the shield. A nice little grenade toss, just a little too high and long. Fino does survive.
I'm kind of hoping to see, you know, Turbo to come to the rescue of Tia, because, I mean, Tia doesn't know he needs to be rescued quite yet, but I'm really hoping that Turbo cause enough stir to break Enigma's concentration just long enough to get Enigma to, or I'm sorry, Tia to sneak by, because we all know Tia is like the MVP of this series so far, and if he goes out early, it's not going to be good for Killettos.
Oh, it's so tense. He's going to have to peek this corridor at some point. Enigma looking.
Is Tia going to find Enigma?
Oh! Unfortunately not, and Tia will fall prey. That tight angle we were talking about. Fino now under fire from Traden here in the north. And Traden's just taking this fight to the shield all over the map.
Yeah. He keeps finding the shield no matter which way he goes. He just keeps encountering that shield. It's like a bad penny. It just keeps turning up. Most
frustratingly, he keeps finding the front of it. I think he keeps trying to get a good position to find a side angle onto it. And there it is. That's the one, as he finds the feet. And the shield, as he says, is super dead. In the north now, Turbo.
I was hoping Turbo could catch that crossing of the street by Traden, but so far Turbo's not peaking quite enough. Oh well, I don't blame him. Yeah, I think he's hearing Steve here. Oh, the C4 detonation, so close. Unfortunately, whoever put that C4 there kind of put it right there at the brick level. I don't think it would have actually killed anyone. I think the bricks would have somehow blocked it. Matt finding Traden, that's big, because right now, you know, Killettos are in a 2v4 situation, so every kill matters at this point.
Every kill matters quite a bit. He was laying down there. I had to pop over with my camera, make sure he wasn't laying down to cap or some such nonsense. But no, indeed, as it is just up to Turbo and Matt to try to figure out how to make the approach on these 4 remaining Horsemen. If
Turbo plays his cards right, he can actually get a couple picks off of those members over there in the courtyard. Like maybe, who is it? I don't know. If Reefer crosses or Steve crosses right in front of Turbo, those will be some huge picks. Although it does look like Matt Outdoors and Turbo are trying to kind of group up, so to speak, for a final push.
Well, you got a minute and a half to do it.
Yeah, not much time left.
Turbo does have to be cautious. He heard the gunshots here, and that's what's keeping him so tied up in this courtyard. Traden already having rotated out. Matt Outdoors finding the kill. Means they don't have to worry about him too much. But with 60 seconds left on the clock, yeah, the smokes are going to start coming out. Not an ideal smoke.
Flash, I don't know if that hit anybody.
Yeah, it looked a little too high.
Turbo might find Reaper right now. Yes, he does. Just need a couple more picks. That'll really seal the deal and maybe get Killettos a nice cap in there. Matt coming into the smoke. Matt and Doctor completely missing. Oh, he goes for the knife. He stabs Matt. Enigma finds Turbo.
His gun wouldn't fire. Had to take out his knife, but the Horsemen will find themselves that Volk win here on map 3 and go up on the series overall. Sleepy, I got a question for you.
Sure.
That question is, why do I like everything I see so far? I like everything I see on both sides. It's very difficult for me to discern who's going to win this series by what I'm watching because both teams seem to play sort of their clutch situations very well. I feel like that could have gone either way. Did you have a take on it?
I don't know. In that round particularly, I felt like 5 Horsemen maintained kind of an upper hand after Olivia rushed in and then kind of failed to keep pushing it. And then that's when Dr. Sean came out. He was immediately refragged, which was great, but unfortunately after that there was no angle to get the confirmation, and then he later caused havoc and communications errors. And you know, overall Enigma's positioning was great as well, keeping Tia boxed up. He was downed, killed. Traden, like you mentioned, attacking the shield from every different angle, but only finding the shield to be ready until that very last moment. Killettos did a great job of kind of coming back, and I thought Matt, with the pick onto Reefer in the courtyard, was gonna be able to cap. But then, of course, I think that was Dr. Sean got antsy, pushed into the corner. They overlapped. He saw him. He stabbed him. And at the same time, another kill came out for the round win. So the 5 Horsemen declare their Volk win and get back the Volk advantage. Now it's the Killettos' turn to defend. It's getting to be rough to call, especially with 5 Horsemen getting this quick spawn here.
Yeah, 5 Horsemen in round 4 now, looking to extend the lead that they have got. The lead really has never gone more than a 1-point spread in either direction in this series. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Aside from the Snow Peak win, the final round, making it a 2-point spread, all the other rounds have been 1 apart on both sides. So nobody really running away with any map or any part of the series just yet, as we've got gunfire coming in heavy from the defensive side. Dr. Sean tucked in, just waiting it out. The nice thing about suppressing fire in this game is you know that they have a limited amount of ammo.
They still have a lot of ammo, though. Those PKMs don't let up.
That
Same
is
with the M249.
That is very true, but finite nonetheless. I'm pretty sure you could empty those mags before the 6-minute mark. That's really what counts.
You will have to reload.
Shield far southeast.
Turbo does spot out the shield cross into the build yard area. There is 2 more there that still were looking to cross and now are a little jammed up.
Yeah, that crossover on the east is just so dicey. Not only at the tank level, but like in between the buildings where they 5 horsemen finding themselves kind of snagged, so to speak.
No,
Yeah,
they
it's
did make it far south.
Traden opting to just kind of go through the courtyard here because they don't know if they're gonna die just crossing over to the further east wall over there.
Yeah,
Steve made it.
Steve did make it. He did have the shield to assist, but he was also he also had the benefit of being the first through.
Yeah.
Defender's always late on the first one and almost never on the second one. So a good call there to opt to rotate a different direction. Turbo will now peek this corridor here. He's looking for Reefer Madness, and he does find him. Traden out.
One down across.
Ooh, Traden taking a couple of shots. Turbo tucking in. He's not going to re-peek that angle another time as Steve is kind of sitting here with the shield.
Across the street.
I just gotta say, this is an insane line being held by Tia. He is, I don't know if it's the most effective.
A very difficult
But-
angle to shoot through. And I mean, like, you see their feet if they're at full sprint for just like 2 seconds. I cannot
Yeah.
imagine that you're not even 2 seconds, like a half a second. Can't imagine your reflex time is that good, Tia. But then again, he had 14 kills on cargo, so I can probably just shut my dang mouth. He can do whatever he wants as long as he gets 14 kills every map. Turbo.
Meanwhile, Steve not really utilizing that smoke cover. The Traden, I don't know.
Turbo is fighting just like a war of 2 fronts here. He's got Steve on one side, Traden on the other, smokes on both sides. Steve's running the shield. There's so much action going on for him alone. Dr. Sean and Olivia about to meet up here at the objective. I have to take my eyes off of that
Yeah.
approach
So
for
much happening.
just a moment. Yeah, too much. In fact, Man Outdoors and Steve Traden. And Traden will find Tia on that push. And the trade on the objective. Olivia and Dr. Sean are both out. It's a 3v2. Horsemen with the 2 left. That position for Tia did not pan out. It's Traden now catching one, rotating. He might be able to catch a second. Fido doesn't tuck in time. And Traden finds 2. Just like that, it is a 2v1 in the direction of the Horsemen.
Man, Traden and Matt gotta find each other. Matt shoots him through the little metal thing on the doorway. That's such a hard thing to shoot through.
Yeah, only recently not bulletproof also. Just an interesting note there. Those were bulletproof for the entirety of last season, and now you can shoot through all of them.
I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, didn't we all? Did not we all?
I was like, oh, they fixed that. That's nice. But I wish I knew that before I used it.
Yeah, dangerous peak to make now, and not a place you can stand idly by. Minute and 30 seconds left. Enigma right on the other side. Neighbors, if you will, here. And during the break, we're going to look at the dancing gun. The dancing, jumping gun. Hop,
Oh, I love
hop,
that.
Hop, hop. That's fun. All right, back to the action. As the clock ticks down, we're getting down to 75 seconds left. Enigma being quite cautious. The callouts did come in from Traden. He should know he's a little light on the count of defense, Matt, with a nice little check flash there. Don't flush anyone out.
I think Enigma hears Matt.
Might have heard the positioning. If Matt doesn't stop fidgeting here, he's going to get caught through the window. And there it is. Enigma does find the nice shot onto the final defender, and the Horsemen will extend their lead to 2 points here as they look to close out the series in the final map. Sleepy, could this be the death knoll for Killettos?
Well, it very well could be. The Killettos were looking very good at the start of that round. Their defense was very tight. Turbo was unfortunately, as you said, having to fight a war of attrition, a war on two fronts. I mean, this guy was unfortunately placed between many defenders. He takes down one, then is stuck between two places. One sneaks by him and gets inside. The other he does manage to secure with a little support from Tia, I believe it was. And then things kind of start to get antsy as the trade happens on the objective. The defense is caught rotating back in. They managed to clear that out, but unfortunately then, as you mentioned in your commentary during the round, Matt just got a little bit too antsy, I think, for me. He had a good positioning already. Enigma was going to have to kind of come to him, and even if he would have been, even if he would have still made the reposition where he was in that door frame corner right at the front of the room instead of in the back like he was, it would have been fine, but he just needed to have stayed there because that was when Enigma was being forced by the clock to push out. So he would have been better off making less noise, giving Enigma less of an idea. And of course, also rotating out of that corner made him more susceptible to that window peek, ultimately getting 5 Horsemen the round. But it's been a great back and forth so far. The 5 Horsemen have expanded our lead to the first 2-point lead organically without a map win in the series. So can't really complain about this matchup at all.
No, you're not hearing any complaints from me because the 5th round is kicking off right now. Killettos on the offense, and they've got to be thinking they're down to the wire here. All the 5 Horsemen need is to just hang on for this final round, and they will take the series.
They might get more aggressive knowing that they have a bit of a buffer there to play with. Will the 5 Horsemen just kind of play it, aggressive and just kind of bet on that making this the series final, or are they going to play it careful?
Well, it's looking like the answer is already given to us, as you can see here from the overhead view. The defense is spread thin, but not what I would call necessarily aggressive. They've got their angles that they want to cover, and they know where they want to cover them from. There's a few little gaps in it, but not too crazy. I think it's going to get a lot tighter once they get a beat on where the offense is going to make their push from.
Speaking of, the offense looking like they're going to try and approach from that mini market maybe on the west side.
Yeah, there are quite a few of the members of the offense here in the south. In fact, all of them, aside from the one in the northwest courtyard currently. It is worth noting the star players, Tia and Fino. Killettos not able to find a kill yet here in this 3rd map. Just having a hard time tying things together. And on their map choice as well. That's what makes it even more surprising.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than getting smacked down on your own map pick, especially in the series finale. Those are usually the closest maps, in my opinion, right? Like
yeah, usually
3-4
exactly.
Kind of ending.
Everybody's sort of fighting tooth and nail to try to get that win.
Unfortunately, a lot of mistakes being made by Killettos on map 3. And 5 Horsemen doing a great job taking advantage of it. Olivia almost gets taken out by a random blind fire from who was it? Steve. Oh no, Matt kills Olivia. That's one of the downfalls of night vision.
It's exactly the kind of mistakes you're talking about as well. Just little, just little disconnects from the team. Now they're opting to play with 4. As the unfortunate team kill potentially seals their fate here on this final map.
Sorry, yeah, that just puts the weight of everything that much heavier on the backs, the shoulders of Killettos. They can't afford any more mistakes.
Oh, they cannot, and we'll see if Traden is ready for Fino's position here.
Taking it real slow. I think Traden's going to be completely caught off guard by this. Traden is just locked in. He's got super tunnel vision.
He does indeed. And
although that smoke might make him look. Nope. Fino going to go for the kill shot any moment now. There it goes. Beautiful headshot by Fino and Traden. Fino gets a kill. Mad Outdoors found Enigma, but they traded. Both of them just downed.
Oh, Reefer Madness with a nice pick there, and Dr. Sean will confirm Mad Outdoors. Tia finding Reefer Madness on the suppressive shots through the wall, and now the res has to come out.
Wow, you know, objective is wide open. If pretty much Steve is crashing in, but he might find Fino. Oh, the C4 finds Fino. He's only down.
A nice C4.
Tia going in for the revive.
And
not quite nice enough.
Yeah, now the res will come out. It is a 3v3 here, as things have swung wildly in both directions so far. Some interesting mistakes on both sides, and now we've got Turbo making his push. I mean, all the defenders are looking for this cross, Steve.
Let Turbo let the shield go first. Classic mistake.
Nice little flashbang there. I don't think that actually got Steve.
I don't think so either, but it looks like Enigma.
Oh, but that nade does find the pick. Enigma rushing around the corner. Fino does hear him. He does find the kill as well, and it's a 1v1 with the res available. Steve on the OBJ. Fino really needs to come crashing in and capitalize on this.
Fino's making a smart, you know, reposition, but he's got to get there quick before Doctor revives. Steve doesn't look like he'll be there in time. Now it's a 2v1 situation, although the shield will help certainly, but this is really dicey for Killettos.
60 seconds left. Dr. Sean maybe playing into this. I don't know. Fino could catch the back of him, but he's got to be quick about it. 40 seconds left. He's going to need to make a very rash choice very quickly. At the 30-second mark, his watch will go off. And now he knows he doesn't have a lot of time, so he's going to start moving quick. Dr. Sean checking the backside. Steve not ready for this. Is he going to think Dr. Sean is the enemy? Fino finds one. Dr. Sean spots him over the pallets. Is Fino going for the cap? Oh, Fino does find the pick on a nice little angle here. And Killettos hang on for yet another round.
That was beautiful, calm, you know, methodical playing by Fino. Being able to clutch it like that is no easy task.
Yeah, with the series on the line, that is a huge pickup for the Killettos. Sleepy, how many boxes of chocolates and flowers is Fino going to get from the Killettos after this game, if they win?
Quite a bit. That was an impressive end to that round. Fino really pulling it out for his team, keeping them alive in this series. Just the timing. I mean, realistically, it comes down to it came down to luck, right? Like Dr. Sean's rotation combined with Fino's rotational timing combined with Steve still looking the wrong way. Like there's a lot of conditional factors in that, right? But still a great job to do that with the nerves on the line, as was mentioned earlier. The series all but a point away, but Killettos staying alive and now going into their Volk round where they could possibly get another point, tie things up here. However, that does put them in the situation of having to get a cap or a win on Marsoc, which isn't impossible, but it's not the situation you really want to be walking into for the final round, or possibly the final round of the game.
Yeah, that's true. Killettos here don't have the option to win. They just have to hang on and then convert on Marsoc, which is pretty challenging as your final round of sort of the deciding round of the series as well.
Yeah.
Can be quite challenging, and we'll see if they can surmount that challenge here as we get into round 6 of this third map. If you're just tuning in, you missed pretty much all of it, but oh, look at that. They're going to extend it just a little bit longer. A reset or a technical issue will happen here. We'll pop back to the scoreboard while they sort things out. I do want to thank everybody for tuning in today again. Appreciate you spending your Saturday evenings with us. We do very much appreciate the bits and the subs and the chat and all of the love that you guys send us. Don't forget, if you are interested in providing some feedback on our cast, anything we're doing well or not so well, drop that feedback in the Twitch link below the video there. And if you're interested in, you know, anything VR Master League related, go check out vrmasterleague.com. There is all kinds of games, not just Onward, lots of interesting and fun leagues to join and play in. So go check that out if you're new here. But no further ado required. It looks like round 6 might actually be underway.
Yeah, if you're new here and you're just tuning in for the first time, this is Onward, and all the body movements that you do in the real world are translated into the game. So that's what makes it that much more special.
It is indeed. It is indeed a very interesting game. The only thing you can't do is run. I mean, otherwise we would all be so fit. We would just be just absolutely jacked.
Look at this 4-man push right up the main street here. I've never seen this before.
Yeah, the 5 Horsemen. I think they're, you know, they're playing with their advantage a little bit. And
yes.
I hope that it doesn't burn them, but they're definitely making plays like that is so risky.
All it would have taken is one defender with one magazine full of bullets just ready to kill them all.
Yeah, or a grenade or a, you know, RPG or anything that's in this game that could blow up a lot of people in one spot.
Well, not an RPG. Not on this map.
That's true. That's true. Bazaar does not allow RPGs or M203s for that matter, so that's why we're not seeing them here. Five Horsemen getting into position nice and slow, clearing their angles as they need to, and Killettos have given them quite a bit of ground here. Bino really the only one watching